All right, guys, we're here for another Whale Club Hangout, episode 14. And today we have Andy, the CEO of Coinut, and we're going to go over his options platform, which is pretty exciting in the space of Bitcoin because we've seen the progression from just trading spot leverage, futures, and now we're seeing the progression into options. So as you know, I'm your host Vix. We have our co-host Flibber and Tip Foundry. You can find us all over on the Whale Club TeamSpeak. Um, and then, so since we have our guest here, we're just going to go right into the questions. Uh, so Andy, why don't you take us through your background, your team's background, and basically how the company started out of that?
Oh,
Did you hear me?
yeah, yeah. Actually, the two sounds coming in. I don't. It's a little strange.
Oh, are you getting? Yeah, actually, you have to make sure you X out of your YouTube page because that one's
Oh, I
probably
see.
getting
Okay.
feedback.
Yeah, it's okay now. Sorry about
Okay,
that.
no problem.
Yeah, yeah. Coinut is a Singapore-based company. Now we have three co-founders and two advisors. I was born in China, and then I went to Singapore to pursue a computer science PhD degree in National University of Singapore. Last year, I graduated and started to work full-time in Coinut. I've been trading in FX markets for more than 6 years, and I developed an automatic arbitrage system when I was an undergraduate student, and the system is still working right now. 3 years ago, I became very interested in options. The other two members also graduated from National University of Singapore. One is a CS master, and she is right now a software engineer. And the other is also a computer science PhD, and he used to be a researcher. Our advisors are Kevin Zhu and Sean Shedman, and you can find their information from our AngelList profile and LinkedIn. Yeah, that's about our team and our background.
Okay. So I just put up the screen share,
Hmm.
and that what I really want to get into now is why is it that seeing the landscape currently of the Bitcoin trader space, why is it that you chose options? Because there's certainly a large learning curve, and we'll go into that later. But what made you guys actually decide? I know you were first doing binary options, and you've come out with vanilla options, which is what really excites me, I think, fellow traders. So, what was the decision that you had, that you came to open an options specific platform?
Yeah, there are a few reasons about that. And Bitcoin price is very volatile, and many Bitcoin users are worried about it. So we also did a user study in the Bitcoin Talk forum, and we found that although 60% of them want to hedge the risk, most users they just don't have a good risk hedging tool. So if the price drops, most of them just simply wait. So we want to provide a risk hedging tool for them. Futures and forwards can also be used for risk hedging, but when they eliminate the downside risk, they also eliminate the upside profit chance. Options is different. They eliminate the downside risk, but still keep the upside profit chance. That's why most users want to use options instead of other derivatives to hedge their risk.
Do you feel like there's a very large educational hurdle that needs to be overcome for people to want to utilize those options? So I think at least futures, from their linear nature, is very intuitive. I mean, people understand, okay, I'm trading spot, and now it's spot basically on 20x. Options have their non-linearity component. How do you think you can go about overcoming that hurdle and actually get people interested in trading options in your product specifically?
Yeah, Right now, actually, we think we have three groups of potential users. The first group is, of course, traders like you guys. You know Bitcoin and options very well, so it is very easy for you guys to accept Bitcoin options. And the second group of users are market makers. They are basically quantitative traders. They make profit from bid-ask spread, so it's also very easy for them to understand options. But it may take a little time for them to learn what Bitcoin is. But as long as the volume in our exchange is good, I think they will be happy to join. And the third group of users is also the largest group of users, which is the normal Bitcoin owners. They may not have good knowledge about options, but they know how insurance works. So we can explain them options as a kind of insurance for them, so they can just buy put options as insurance. So yeah, that will solve part of the problem. We will also try to educate those who know Bitcoins but have little knowledge about options. That could take some time, but it's going to be rewarding. We are going to record some videos or build our website to put more articles inside, and they can read and learn from it.
Yeah, I just want to, you make a very good point there at the end that if you could get kind of normal Bitcoin users, acclimated to the idea of buying insurance, which is kind of the original idea of options, that there would be a flow, an order flow coming from them. So let's go over, I mean, I think they have to actually be comfortable with you, your company,
Okay.
and what's backing it. So what kind of funding have you gone about trying to get for your company? Because I understand, aren't you in San Francisco right now?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm in San Francisco right now. Yeah, regarding the funding, currently we funded ourselves with about 100,000 US dollars. So this provides some liquidity, but I know it's still not enough. That's why I just arrived in San Francisco for fundraising. And I've talked to some investors. They think our business will work, but they are still waiting for more tractions. But we believe that we will get funded eventually because people need our product and we can make profit from it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely just kind of echo that you're gonna need to teach them how to basically use your product, and just that's going to be a very large hurdle. So now, just kind of moving to a more technical aspect, how are you going about modeling the the options that you're putting up there? What kind of modeling are you using? Are you using Black Scholes, or what's the predominant model there?
Yeah, we actually use a modified version of Black Show. It's not the most accurate one, but it is simple and robust.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I,
but
I believe you have to start somewhere, so
yeah,
it's
right.
probably not, too crucial on which one you pick. It is going to be important though, as people want to trade the product, that they're going to want to know this, because I didn't see that in any of your FAQ, if I remember correctly. You don't have that listed, do you?
Pardon, what kind of list are you talking about?
You don't have it listed that you're using a modified Black-Scholes model for pricing your options, right?
We're right now using a modified version of Black Show.
Yeah, I'm saying you
Yeah.
don't have that currently in the FAQs section.
Oh no, no, we don't have the information in the FAQ. Yeah, right. Yeah, I know that there are some other sophisticated models like Van Vogel or Heston, but they require history volatility surface data to calibrate. But we don't have any such kind of data. And they are mathematical models, so basically garbage in, garbage out. So without good history data, it's going to be very difficult to use these models. So we just use the simplest one.
No, and I want to, take a moment to say that it's a difficult thing. You're launching a whole new product with very little data to no data. So you have
Yeah.
to start somewhere. So also, I mean, you guys originally you at least rolled out a binary options product, and now you went to vanilla options. Can you explain,
Hmm.
that transition and, how you see binary fitting in, or that you're going to focus more on vanilla options as, um, demand picks up?
Yeah. Actually, at the beginning, we thought it might be too complicated for normal Bitcoin users to accept vanilla options. But binary options are much easier to understand. That's why we chose binary options first. But after our launch, many users just asked me about vanilla options. So to satisfy their needs, we launched our vanilla options in February. It's not a transition right now, we still have binary options, and actually binary options are still the most popular one at this moment.
Yeah, I certainly can believe that. They're the easiest to grasp conceptually and to just understand, what am I risking, what kind of return do I have, and kind of a time period associated with that. But I do think you're going to find that the more sophisticated and nuanced trader is going to want those vanilla options. So I see you're taking that step, which I'm very happy to see. And I know this is going to be a lot of work, but I think if you can get that right, you'll start to see traders that want to trade and not kind of be involved in a very specific gambling product will show up on your platform.
Yeah, right. We don't want to make it a gambling site.
Even though I like to say that all of us traders are really just degenerate gamblers, whether we admit it to ourselves or not. But And like I'll just kind of take you through some of the things that I was looking at as far as the UI goes. Um,
Okay.
I so what are your thoughts on doing just some simple risk profiles in your FAQs and such like that? Because right now you have no current visualization. Um, are
Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, we can put this risk profile into our trading interface, so we can make it interactive. So you can click at any point of the line, and then they will know when the price reaches that point, how much profit they will make.
Yeah, and are you familiar? I should have prefaced this a little bit. Are you familiar with the Thinkorswim platform pretty
Yeah,
intimately?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I actually have an account with them.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly the standard in the retail trading sector as far as options and the features that the options products that they have and the layers of complexity. I didn't want to go too deep in it, but I just have a simple bought call option there in its risk profile. So I think that's one of the hardest things is exploring the nonlinearity aspect of
Options.
options versus many people are just so that their world has not been shaken to something outside of a linear product.
Yeah, right. If this kind of graph can help users a lot, I believe.
Yeah, I just threw up then just a simple straddle, right? A bought call, bought put at the money. That's something that can be very reflective, and this is something you need to decide on your with your team as far as a marketing and business side. But you're looking at basically uh, a trade setup that can profit for up or down movement, just an increase in volatility. That's something that people have not heard a lot about yet in the Bitcoin space, and it may appeal to their interest, draw them in and get them interested. So I think it's very important how you shape what it is your product can do. It's the functionality aspect of it, and as a trader, I want additional ways to make money. So just something to think about. Do you have any thoughts on that? I mean, I just have the straddle up here on the screen.
Yeah, I actually, Chris just suggested us about this complex contract. And we thought it's a very good idea, and it could reduce the margin, and it also makes the contract input much easier. And yeah, we will definitely implement this in the near future.
And Pip, did you have something to add on this, or did I go a little too quick past something you wanted to bring up?
Well, I think that for the most part, you covered what I wanted to ask regarding the risk profile being added to the site itself. I mean, whether or not it's interactive or not is it's. I mean, I guess it's irrelevant. It would be nice um, if it was interactive and very fancy like Thinkorswim, but just having some sort of basic visualization would be nice. But that leads me to really the next thing, which is the Greeks, and wondering why they're not available to me or why they're not on the site.
Yeah, actually, we just launched our vanilla option in February, so we are still testing whether there will be some users or not. And I'm very glad to see you guys are very interested in our product. And since you guys raised this question, so definitely we will implement this part. It's not difficult. It's actually very easy.
Oh,
So
that's great. That's good to
yeah,
know.
yeah. So it's not going to take some. Yeah, we will implement it very quickly.
That's exciting. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, and I even had, let me just shift screens here. So I just brought up, it's another Thinkorswim screen, and I'm gonna pivot back to your user interface and your user experience here in a minute. Um, but as you can see, this one's just with simple open interest and volume. And now if I go over to your platform,
Hmm.
I hope that can be seen pretty well. We're just seeing basically the amount on the bid offer. We're not seeing it in terms of open interest. Um, I also just kind of put some notes on here as far as maybe a way to make it a little bit more user friendly. From the aesthetic point of view, I'm not really seeing the whole order book and such like that. I have many more things to add, but can you just comment a little bit on your UI currently?
Yeah. Yes, we will definitely change the text accordingly, and we will combine the two tables as well. And right now there are two strike columns, and we will make one strike column in the middle, like you drew. Yes, that will make the interface clearer, I guess. Yeah, yeah, we will implement it very soon. It's not going to be a problem.
Yeah, I mean, the closer you can get to something that looks like Thinkorswim is probably the better. Like that's pretty much sort of the gold standard. That's something I'm extremely familiar with. Doesn't mean it's, the only way of doing it, but I would try and move your platform to look like that as much as you can. And just coming back now, yeah, I was kind of wondering why, let's take it in order. First of all, why are you going with, it's 3-day expiration times right now? Is that that's what I think I'm seeing, right?
Uh, right now it's weekly and bi-weekly. It's not 3 days.
Why
Yeah,
am I?
it expires on Saturday, but the picture you took should be it should be out of dated. I just updated the expiry times yesterday, and it's now weekly and bi-weekly.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
but there was at least a period of time when I took this picture within the last couple of days that you're doing it every 3 days, or it was like that?
Yeah, it's very easy for me to change everything from our backend. Yeah, we just need your suggestions to make it more reasonable.
Yeah, I mean, you've gotten you've taken what I've said in the Google Docs and you've already implemented that, so I commend you on that. And I was just going to say, if you have a consistent, like you're going to do now with weekly and bi-weekly. Now I know every Friday, or I think you said every Saturday, expiration happens. That's way better than every 3 days when I'm like, is it expiration day or not? It needs to be on a consistent day of the week and time to just make it easier for the user. So now let's shift, since you've covered that already. I don't want to dwell into it. Are you still sticking with the $4 strikes, or are you going to move it to $5? So I think $5 is just, it's more intuitive. It's easier to just kind of grasp. Or can you discuss that a little bit?
Yeah, I agree. I will definitely change that tonight. Yeah, it's quite easy to change. Yeah, I think it's better to be $5 instead of $3.
Say that again. Sorry.
I mean, I think it's better to be $5 instead of $4.
Yeah, I mean, pick an even number there. And the way I just wanted to come back quickly to your current UI is, you have, I think, I don't know how many strikes you have on there currently, but it's quite a few. So if you at least center, say, let's call it like $50 up, $50 down, then you can kind of pool that liquidity. Hopefully, when people come on, there's less options. It's less confusing for them. They see what they have offered, and then they're able to basically make that determination. Now, yes, Bitcoin can move crazy, but you can always just manually add those if need be. So I think it would actually be beneficial, like I said, to kind of limit your order book to just say, $50 up, $50 down, away from the current at the money strike. But you got thoughts on that?
Yeah, right. We're going to decrease the range within, like you said. Uh, yeah, it's quite. Yeah, we will do that very soon.
Okay. Let's see here. I did talk to Chris. Actually, he was probably one of the people that first got me in contact with you. And he asked some questions here, so I just wanted to kind of reiterate some of his points. Let's see here. Yeah, why is it that you have a USD pair and you have a CNY pair? Is there any thoughts to pooling that liquidity? Are you doing that on the back end at all, or is that something you want to keep separate? What are your thoughts regarding that specifically?
Originally, I put the Bitcoin to CNY pair into the exchange because I want to extend to China. China is a very big market. So if we can attract some Chinese traders, then the volume of the site will increase very significantly. So yeah, but right now the plan seems to be yeah, it's going to be slower. So probably we will remove it in the future.
Well, I mean, I certainly, many of us actually, I think everybody here basically trades on OKCoin or a Chinese-based exchange, so we're very familiar with pricing Bitcoin in CNY. I don't think there's anything, that we have an
Okay.
objection to at all. I'm just saying, from your standpoint, is there ways you can pool that liquidity? Because, once you open it up to one product goes to two products, and you're trying to get traction into a market that's, it requires quite a crossing of the educational chasm to understand the product. You're already, kind of cannibalizing your launch there. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
if I could say, it'd just be nice if it kind of if it did that for me. If it didn't really care whether or not it was using the CNY underlying or a USD underlying.
Okay. Yeah, and understand your concern. Yeah, it's better to remove that at this moment, and then if it is necessary, we can always add it back. That will be better. Yes.
Yeah, especially early on, because I think a little bit of your platform, actually, I will say yours is one of the more aesthetically pleasing, but there's also a lot of you see so many different options, like as far as how many strikes you got. Am I doing CNY? Am I doing USD? Those kind of things are going to, confuse the user and maybe discourage them from using your platform. I think it'll be better to try and roll out the product individually and then kind of gauge from there. Because, like you say, you always can add that in. And the U.S. based traders a lot. We don't really have too much of an issue trading in CNY. We're very used to that now too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. Thank you for the suggestions. It makes a lot of sense to me.
Bear, do you have any things to weigh in here?
Well, the only big thing that I have is so you mentioned that you come from an options background and you identified that the Bitcoin ecosphere doesn't have an understanding that options are a beautiful way to hedge against risk or to provide like you were saying, a quote insurance against the volatility or against the movement of the underlying price. And what I see is that a lot of Bitcoiners, you're right, don't know that, and that makes it also very difficult to sell them on options because they're very unaware of how to trade them. So a big thing that I would request from you is that you in some way figure out how to hold my hand through maybe a trial of explaining exactly why I would purchase an option to hedge risk versus, say, buy or sell on spot.
Yeah, I think it's a good question. Actually, right now the interfaces are built for traders and market makers, and we are going to build a very simple interface for people who want to buy options as insurance. And so they just need to input their email address and the expiry time and how much bitcoins they have, and then they will be presented address, and they just need to send bitcoins to that address to buy the insurance.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, so the interface is going to be very simple and it's easy to understand. And yeah, we're also contacting some other wallet services like blockchain or Sharple or Bread Wallet, and we hope that they will use our service in their website so they can provide insurance service for their users. So their users don't need to visit our website to buy these options.
That sounds even better.
Yeah, I kind of the one part I kind of laugh about though is we wish we had insurance products back when we were at like 1,000. Right? I think people now are like, really? I mean, like, I missed the boat on buying insurance on my Bitcoin.
Hey, at least we're going to get it now.
Yeah. And I think that was kind of what we're certainly a trader-centric group, and all of the way I view options, and I've said this on TeamSpeak many a times. The golf analogy is you've been playing golf your whole life with a driver and a putter, and suddenly a guy shows up with 3-iron through sand wedge and other woods and stuff like that. So you now have a full set of clubs, and that's really what options provides to the trader. Is any kind of market outlook that I have, I can construct now through options. And it's granted, we're at the very early stages, and we're just talking, bull call spreads or straddles, and even just single leg calls and puts. But eventually, we're going to move into some of the more complex things, butterflies, iron condors, and such like that. So there's the whole premium harvesting side of things too. But I really, would say to you, like you definitely, from the trader perspective, think about marketing in the way of, even the simple straddle, which isn't, too complex of, oh, I need to buy a call at the money, buy a put at the money. Now people start to see, well, I'm long volatility. I'm long not necessarily on direction, but that we're going to get a big move, like currently, right? Currently,
Yeah.
Bitcoin's been
Yeah,
going sideways a really long time.
and that's
Um,
really what I'm getting at is I want you to kind of hold my hand through that process, make it easy for me to make a volatility based trade.
Yeah, and that's why I think, unlike a lot of the other sites, your FAQ and your tutorial section is going to be really paramount to determining a lot of the success of your site.
Hmm.
I think there was a big jump, even from people that were trading spot with leverage to futures. Like I was a part of that whole thing, and there was a disconnect. Like, where's the leverage come from? What's this derivative product? Is it quote fake or not? Now you're moving to something way more complex. So that's a hurdle that you're gonna need to think about. I mean, what's your thoughts as being a trader and coming into contact with people that don't know options and how you're gonna bridge that gap?
Yeah, it's a very difficult question actually for people who don't know options. I think the best way to explain to them is that it's some kind of insurance for you to hedge your risk. If the price drops, we just pay you, and then they immediately understand what we're doing.
Okay, that's towards the normal user. How do you sell that to the trader?
To option trader, I mean.
How do you sell it to a trader that has traded spot or futures their whole life and goes, why should I trade this complex options product? What's in it? Why would I do that? What would you say to them?
Yeah, actually, yeah, the insurance kind of thing still works and it still makes the story very easy to understand. But for people who have better a background, maybe yeah, I've not yet tried, but yeah, maybe we can say it's kind of derivative like futures, but futures make you have the right and the obligation to exercise, but options give you the right instead of the obligation to exercise.
Well, they're really going to be appealing towards risk appetite, and options gives you not only a lot. It's a different form, it's coming at it from a different angle because of the nonlinearity of it, but really it's about risk appetite and basically, am I able to now, add the tool of options into my trader tool bucket and basically make more money. That's what they're in there
Mm.
for. That's something, like we're very heavy trader centric, and when I hear kind of insurance product, I almost lose interest. Like,
Okay.
I mean, I get what you're saying. Like, I understand, but I mean, if I would brand my site and I had an option site and I said, it's an insurance product, I'd just be like, oh, cool, and click off. So just something to consider.
Yeah, yeah, that's a very good suggestion. Yeah, I will definitely take that suggestion.
All right. Well, we've covered most of the stuff that I've had on the Google Doc. I just wanted to give a breeze over here. You did cover. You said you have three co-founders currently, right?
Yes.
And then can you go over? I don't know if I was not paying quite as attention, like their specific backgrounds. Can you say, where they've worked or what, predominantly they come from finance to bring, the knowledge that's needed to be successful in options platform?
Yeah, uh, they are all yeah, they are all computer science graduates, one is a PhD and one is a master, and they they are very good developers. They are very good software engineers. Option to make a very good options exchange, it is very important to make it efficient because when the underlying moves, the all the orders in the exchange needs to be updated. So when the price moves very quickly, there will be a lot of traffic. So so it requires the site respond very quickly. That's a main challenge, and I think their background fit this challenge very well. And
Yeah.
yeah, but they don't have much finance background, but I do have the background. So, and our advisor Kevin Zhou, he has a background. Uh,
Okay.
yeah,
And I'm gonna just I feel like this is probably the third time I'm reiterating it, but it's really gonna come down a lot, I feel, to that tutorial and education component. Um, that's gonna be developing a product is obviously huge, and to have a product that's functioning with the current tools that we want, but a lot of it's gonna come down to, are you going to convince whether the three demographics that you've identified to use the product? So just be very cognizant of the marketing aspect of it because of that hurdle that's involved there.
yeah, sure, of course.
All right. Well, we're coming up here on about 40 minutes. Is there anything that you want to say directly to us that maybe that I've missed or that we haven't covered? Otherwise, then I'll wrap it up here shortly.
Uh, are you guys interested in market making the site because that's the most important part at this moment, I guess.
We
It's funny, we get that a lot.
Yeah.
It's always the chicken and egg problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
We certainly have some people that run. What is your back end? Are you running like WebSocket, Fix? How high are you going up with your API?
The API is right now through HTTP.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
We have a Python wrapper for you, so you just need to invoke the Python functions. It's very easy to use, and we can tailor the APIs for you if you have any other suggestions.
I think eventually that'll be something that myself as an algorithmic trader will be interested in. Will be access to the API and documentation on how to interface with it. That'd be nice. And the higher level you're willing to go with that API, the happier I'm going to be. So, or lower level rather. So if you're willing to produce an exchange that was in WebSocket or Fix, I'd be much happier than just a standard Python-based socket.
Yeah, WebSocket should be very easy to implement. That should not be a problem. Yeah, we can implement that in the near future.
That'd be great. I really thank you so much for your time here and explaining your product to us.
Okay, thank you for your suggestions.
Yeah, we do have people that utilize bots and such like that. So they may have more of an interest on the API side. I can say that that's certainly not my expertise, but
Okay.
it's something that our trading community does have. And I will invite you. We have. I'm just looking right now. We got 121 users currently on our Whale Club TeamSpeak server. So it doesn't mean they're all active. Bitcoin's been going sideways a really long time, and we can get, during peak periods when price is moving, we can exceed 200 pretty easily. So I certainly invite you, to come onto our server and just chat or whatever, because I think, you're really one of the first pioneers into the option space. I did have listed on that other image. I think Atlas ATS tried to launch an options product. They pretty much so died on the vine. So I think currently that you're the only one offering a vanilla options product. So you're a pioneer in this space, and as traders, we want to utilize those products and see you come to market. So, we cordially invite you over to the TeamSpeak server. Just it's an open invitation. There's never it's public anyway. So if you want to pop in, and you have me on Twitter, so feel free to stop by.
Sure, sure.
And and with that said, I know Flipper, he went AFK. He's not really our options guy, but he just wanted to be here for moral support. But I really want to thank Pit Foundry for coming on and co-hosting with me. And as I said before, you can find all of us on the Whale Club TeamSpeak server, ts.whaleclub.io. And we'll talk to you later.